What's going on, guys? Jun with the Sushi Man here, and in this video, I'll be showing you the best way to cook frozen Japanese gyoza so that it's even better than restaurant quality. And the beauty of it all, it only takes 6 minutes to make. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So for those that don't know what gyoza is, it's basically a type of dumpling filled with some sort of meat and other vegetables. In other words, potstickers. But there are a lot of varieties and a bunch of different ingredients you can put inside them. And also, depending on how it's cooked, it's named differently. Most common is the yaki gyoza, which are pan-fried, but there's age gyoza, which are deep-fried, sui gyoza that are boiled, and mushi gyoza, which are steamed. Today I'll be showing you the most popular way, and that's the pan-fried method. However, it's not the standard version that you typically see. I like to make mine in a style called Hanetsuki gyoza, which translates to gyoza with wings. Sounds like a Red Bull commercial. It's when you add some starch into the cooking process to make this thin, perfectly crispy sheet that looks kind of like, well, wings. It's very common in Japan, but not so much here in the States. But anyways, this simple trick will level up your gyoza game tenfold. Trust me, even professional Japanese chefs will be impressed once you get this down. Alright, let's move on to our tools and supplies. So I've mentioned this in my other recent videos, but I'm going to simplify this section a bit. Here's a list of things you'll need, but I'm not going to go over each one of them like I've done in the past, since most of it is pretty straightforward. I will go over some of the important ones though. So a couple things I want to cover here. First is the frying pan. Having a non-stick one is key, and it has to have a cover. And the size will depend on how many gyoza you're cooking obviously, but I like to have one that fits the gyoza in there kind of snug. This helps keep the gyoza together and makes a cleaner hane or the wings when we're done. And the second one is the plate. Ideally you want one that is a tad larger than the pan. And this is because we'll be placing the plate on top of the pan and then flipping it over when we're done cooking. You'll see what I mean when we get to that part, but if the plate's smaller than the pan, it's a lot tougher to do, not to mention it's unsafe. Alright, that's about it. Now let's go over our ingredients. The first and most important item is obviously the gyoza. There are tons of different brands and types of frozen gyoza, but I like this Ajinomoto one the best. Plus, it's readily available. And there's a few different types from Ajinomoto that looks very similar to this, so make sure to read the label carefully. I recommend this pork and chicken combo, but they have one that's just chicken, seafood, beef I think, and one that's just veggies. Next we have some potato starch, and this is 1 teaspoon. You can also use cornstarch or just plain all-purpose flour. The potato starch gives that wing a light and crispy texture while flour makes it more thick and crunchy. I personally like the lighter texture with the starch, but they're both really good. Try them out and see for yourself. Next we have 2 tablespoons of water. And then this is 2 tablespoons of chicken stock. This makes the gyoza more savory, plus it adds more depth to the overall flavor. I highly recommend it, but it is optional. If you're not using this though, just make sure to add in 2 more tablespoons of water so that you have 4 tablespoons of water total. Okay, now we have our dipping sauce ingredients. And the ratio is really up to you, but I mix some soy sauce, rice vinegar, and sesame oil. Simple as that. And if you like spicy things, then I recommend some chili oil as well. This one has these crunchy little garlic chips inside, which adds even more umami. And it's actually really good on so many different things, so I highly recommend it. And as always, I'll have links below in the description. Alright, that's it for the ingredients. Now let's start cooking our gyoza. So first thing we're going to do is heat up our pan over medium heat. And while the pan heats up, we'll make our water starch mixture. So we have our potato starch, then we'll add in the water, and then the chicken stock. Now we just give this a nice mix. And easy as that. Okay, once the pan is warmed up, we're going to start laying our gyoza on here. And there's no need to defrost these or put any oil on here, just straight out of the bag and onto the pan. But every brand is different, so make sure to read the label before you start. And if you look at the gyoza, you'll see that one side is flat. That's the side you want to lay down on the pan. So just like this. And I like to put these down in a circle following the shape of the pan. And you lay them right next to each other like this. Now if you're using a larger pan and want to lay them straight, that's totally fine as well. Just make sure that they're side by side and not all spread out. Alright, I was able to fit 10 pieces in here, all placed in a nice circle. Now we're going to take our water starch mixture and give it a quick stir again. And then we'll pour it onto here and then close the lid. Now we let this cook for about 5 minutes. But again, check the label because every brand can be different. And while we wait for this, let's really quick make our dipping sauce. So I'll start off with some soy sauce. Next, the rice vinegar. Then a drizzle of sesame oil. And done. Now sometimes I like to take a quick peek in there to make sure it's not burning. If it looks like it is, then obviously turn the heat down a bit. Alright, my 5-minute timer just went off, so let's take the lid off now. And then from here, we're going to cook this till most of the liquid evaporates, which usually takes about a minute or so. And during this time, you want to watch for any bubbling. The bubbles are the liquid evaporating, so if you see an area that has more bubbles, then adjust the pan so that part gets more heat. And you'll see the bottom browning like this, and it's supposed to. Just make sure it stays this kind of brown color and not burnt black. Alright, most of the bubbling has gone down and the bottom looks more of an even brown. So from here, I take my chopsticks and kind of scrape off the edges a bit. Basically what we're doing is trying to unstick the gyoza from the pan while keeping the wings intact. And after poking around for a little bit, it should come off and be able to move around like this. Now all we do is plate this. So the easiest way to do this is have a plate that's a little bigger than the pan, and then we'll place this on top. And then flip it over. Now we take off the pan and look at that. Boom. Check out that perfectly browned and crispy wing. Trust me, once you make it this way, there's no going back. And unless you're going to spend hours on making the filling and wrapping each piece yourself, this is definitely the way to go. And this should be eaten while it's still hot and crispy. So go grab a beer or whatever drink of choice and dig in. And while you do that, I'll put in my short plug about my sushi book. Because if you're here at the end of this video, then I'm sure you'll enjoy all the knowledge and hard work I put into it. It's called How to Make Sushi at Home, a fundamental guide for beginners and beyond. It has about 250 pages and it's full of recipes, techniques, tips, tricks, and also full color images that take you step by step on how to make sushi both at home and professionally. I'll leave links below for those that are interested. Alright, now that you know how to make some legit gyoza, learn how to pair it with some Japanese sake with the video over here. Thanks for watching, and as always, feel free to leave me any questions or comments below. I'll see you on the next one. Arigatou gozaimasu.